Hi, I'm Nicole Rycroft, and I'm a Climate Breakthrough Awardee, and I have some questions. So, question number one, where is your hometown, and what are some of your favorite things about it? Well, I'm glad you asked. My hometown is Sydney, Australia, and I love Sydney because it is noisy. There are birds, cicadas, you wake up to the sound of kookaburras, which always makes me smile. And there's this magic combination of both all the wonders that you have in a great city, good food, cycling in the traffic, along with fantastic beaches, and there's a lot of bush in the Sydney. So come to Sydney. Oh, right. What was your earliest memory about forests? Ooh, I love this one. So my aunt and uncle lived in a place where their backyard was basically the bush. And so as a young kid, I remember the smell of the eucalyptus oil in the middle of summer, and getting to play in a creek with tadpoles as they morphed into frogs. Wallabies, they had a lyrebird in the back, up the back of their block. And of course, snakes and spiders. All right, how do we best protect forests? And can we just plant more trees? Well, that is a common misconception that planting trees is equivalent to protecting forests. But the best way to protect our forests, and the world scientific community are really clear that we need to protect 30 to 50% of the world's forests by 2030. And the way to do that is twofold. One is we need to just transform the supply chains that currently drive deforestation and forest degradation. So supply chains like packaging and paper, the viscose textile supply chain. And we need to stop them being so reliant on forests to provide the fiber, and diversify it and scale alternatives like next-gen solutions. So utilizing waste, like waste textiles or agricultural residues that would be burnt or landfilled, that in themselves place pressure on the climate with methane or the burning of straw. And when we use next-gen alternatives, we get to keep forests standing so that they continue to be home for biodiversity and stabilize our climate. And the second thing that's really important is to actually support Indigenous-led conservation and to help support those community-led initiatives with the building of conservation-based economies. So twofold. And the scientific community is really clear that we need to prioritize keeping intact forests standing, and then secondarily we need to restore, which is where planting or rewilding would come in. But there is a vast biological difference between a plantation or a planted forest and an old-growth forest. Okay, what's the easiest thing the fashion industry can do now to reduce its carbon footprint? So it needs to shift away from being reliant on virgin materials like forests for making viscose, and needs to utilize next-gen alternatives and to really scale those. So utilizing waste textiles or agricultural residues as the feedstock for making next season's clothing. They have 5 times less biodiversity impact and generally 85% less carbon footprint associated with them. Ooh, okay. What is the best advice you've ever received? I would say that it's the fact that no one likes to join the army of the glum. And, when you work on the climate crisis, there's a lot of bad news. And people want to feel joy. People want to feel part of something that's bigger than themselves. And so that's something that I've really taken to heart. And as a team at Canopy, we really look for ways to how can we engage our partners in ways that feel joyful or that they're part of something bigger than themselves. And now I'm going to put these cards in the recycling bin.